Guys, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. I don't know why I'm laughing. But anyway, check out this story, y'all. This story happened early this morning, and it made, I guess, national media headlines or whatever. This right here chimes into a lot of people's worst fear or animals that people are scared of, namely snakes. They don't really bother me like that if I see them, but some people, especially a lot of women, cannot stand snakes. They have a resentment for them. But this story right here is out of Central Texas. It didn't really tell where it was at. But this happened 4:30 this morning, in which this woman right here, who was gracious enough to share her story, even though it's embarrassing, got up in the middle of the night to go use the restroom. As she went to go use the restroom, that's what she encountered. But the thing about it is, she did not see the snake. So as she went to go use the bathroom, she went to sit down and the snake bit her. And she's lucky the snake wasn't poisonous. You know what I'm saying? And it talks a little bit about how these animals can get into houses. But I mean, can you just imagine that happening? I can't. Here's the story.
Okay, this is certainly something you don't see every day. It's a lot of people's worst fear, sitting down to use the restroom and then discovering a snake in your toilet.
For a woman who lives in Cedar Creek near Bastrop, that became her reality. Grace Reeder has her horror story.
This isn't a picture of a toilet. Well, it is, but that's not why we're showing it to you. Look a little more closely. See that thing right there? That's a snake. And a Central Texas woman says she sat on it, just like in your nightmares.
And I feel like a little poke on my leg, and I said, oh, something happened, my husband left something on the toilet. So I then turn on the light, and then I see that there's a snake under my toilet.
Yeah, this snake.
It does happen, and I just want people to be aware of, their vents and what might come in through their toilets or sinks.
If you're wondering, just how often does this happen? Yeah, us too. We took that question to a pest control expert.
Snakes coming up in the toilet is a infrequent occurrence. In 25 years of pest control, I have never dealt directly with it or have anybody that I know of deal with it. I think it's more of an urban legend most of the time, but it does happen.
That's more often than I would like it to happen, so my next question was, how?
There's a couple of ways that a snake can get into a toilet. One is through the vent stack up on the roof. They can hold their breath and come up through the toilet. They can also come up kind of through the sewage system, especially if there may be a break in the lines or if there's rats in the sewer. And then in some cases, they just make their way into the house traditionally, right, through a crack or a crevice, or they make their way in, and they can go in there looking for water and curl up in a toilet as well.
And it was literally right here.
As for what this woman did next, she's now got chicken wire over the vent on her roof, because that's how she thinks the snake made its way in. But before that, this is Texas. She got bit by a snake and then...
I still went to church. I got up and I went to church.
Grace Reeder, KXAN News.
Gentlemen, that's why you always look before you sit down on any toilet, even if it is your own. Now, she didn't turn the light on. Self-explanatory. The snake was sitting up there. It looked like, to me, like some type of water snake. I've seen water snakes out here that look like that. Maybe not that pattern of color, but the way the pattern was, it did look like a water snake. But anyway, lady's lucky it wasn't poisonous. And good thing for it, because, say it bit her and she never turned the light on, because she said she thought her husband left something on the toilet seat. She went back to bed, never woke up. Either way, they said it was an urban legend. I've heard that before. Now, all of y'all that watch my live streams, when I tell funny stories about my life growing up with my grandparents, my grandmother Bunny used to always say stuff like that. Oh, a snake is in the toilet, it's gonna bite you, or something like that. If she's seen this story right now, God bless my grandma, man, she's gone. May she rest in peace. If she saw that story right now, she would have immediately, she probably wouldn't pee for the next month. But anyway, that lady's lucky, man, because I have a client of mine that owns a ranch in East Texas, and he was bitten on the toe by a rattlesnake when he was going to get firewood out of a wood pile on the side of his house. And luckily he made it to the hospital, saved his toe and everything. But he said the bill just for the antivenom alone was $100,000. And he said that was like 15 years ago. So you know the price of that to save somebody's life now is way higher. But either way, man, that snake just being a snake. And, you know, she went in there, sat down. He looked up, saw that taco and tried to bite it. You know what I mean? I'm sure you could see she got some size on her. When she sat on that thing, that motherfucker shit hurt. That snake was like, ow! Bit that ass. But either way, man, you know, it's a good thing. Everything worked out. Stuff like this, they say, happen. It's rare, but it does. But I mean, you heard what she said. Oh, I went to church after that. I did go to church. They love the Lord in Texas, man. I don't know what that's about. When I was going to on my first road trip, when I was driving from Houston to Memphis, that's the longest I ever rode by car by myself, besides North Carolina. I was nervous. Early in the morning, I had to stop and take a bathroom break, and I stopped in this small town. And I asked the guy where I was at, and the guy said this to me. I'll never forget it. He said, brother, this is such and such Texas. I forgot what he said. He said, this is God's country. The way he said that shit, I was like, all right, where's the bathroom? I got up out of there. But anyway, you see, she went to church. She went and thanked the Lord that he didn't bite the roast beef. So it's all good. But anyway, y'all better look before you sit down on these toilets. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. This is not a normal story that I do, but I just had a little bit of humor with it. And it had a good ending. But, you know, it's just something, a conversational thing to talk about. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. It just hit me, an experience I had one time that was similar to this. I had a client. Sometimes, you know, with me doing aquariums and stuff, I'll have a client that'll call me. They'll see my truck, you know, with the graphics and stuff on it, and they'll get the company number, and they'll call you and give you, you know, have you perform a service for them, an aquarium service, you know, just one time, you know, and then you never hear nothing about it from them again. I had a guy contact me in Sugar Land, Texas. Shout out Sugar Land. This guy was a reptile owner. I didn't know that. He had the reptile room. They had their own room and everything. Had all kind of snakes and stuff. Never knew nothing about it. Go up in the house. The house was well clean, everything. Got a big fish tank in the wall. So he keeps looking around on the floor, and he's not saying nothing to me, but he's like, yeah, come on in. And he keeps looking. And then he's like, hey, if you see, if anything moves or you hear any noises, just contact me, you know, and let me know. I'm thinking he's talking about the door too, because like the tank was in the wall, and then the entry point to go and clean the tank was inside of a closet, like a walk-in closet. So when you go in the walk-in closet, you see the back of the fish tank. So I'm not thinking nothing of it. I'm thinking, because when I opened the door was squeaking. I was like, okay, well, maybe he's talking about the door. Get my ladder, get my tools, get everything. I get up there. This thing's about 6 feet off the ground. Get on my ladder so I can get inside the tank. I start pulling stuff out, right? As I'm going to pull out this big giant looking cave, because it was a freshwater tank, some small fish in there, nothing small. I go to pick up this thing, and I go pull it out, and it's heavy. I'm like, damn, this thing is heavy. So I didn't know if it had airlines on it. So I'm checking. I don't see anything. I go to pick it up, and I'm thinking maybe it's full of water. As I go to pick it up, it was like a little mountain, but it had like different size holes in it. As I go to pick this thing up out the fish tank, it starts coming out of the fish tank, and a big ass snake head just comes out, just pokes right out of the thing where my hand was at. And I came out about that tank. You couldn't tell me nothing. I lost my mind. I said, hey, man, there's a snake in here. Come to find out, he had a green anaconda. You know what I'm saying? That was missing. And he went and looked. He's like, oh, man, he was missing. I didn't even know he was out. He got out of the thing. I don't know why people carry these big snakes. I mean, people love snakes and stuff, but you carry these big snakes like this. I mean, that thing was fat like this, and then stuck his face through the thing. He couldn't get out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you know, they can stay underwater for a long time because they're aquatic snakes. And he went and got the snake, came with tongs, pulled the snake out, the snake wrapping around his hand. He wrestling with the snake, getting the snake back in the thing. And he was like, man, this thing is strong. And I was saying to myself, what if this guy left me in here with this snake, left the house temporarily, because people do that. You go to their house and start working. Yeah, I'll be right back. Give me about 20 minutes. I'll come back. And that thing got around my hand. I didn't know how to get it off. Just one of them type of things. You have to, I mean, people think your jobs are easy, man. You'll never know what you're going to run into when you come to somebody's house. But anyway, thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.